Okay, guys, welcome back.
Se cortó, fue mi teléfono.
No, the session ended.
Sorry.
Don't worry.
My cell phone.
Okay, Jose Luis was speaking. Okay, guys, let's continue. Aaron, can you continue, please?
Listen instructions or directions.
Just give me 1 second. There. Sorry.
Huh?
There, please. Can you continue?
Okay, questions, listening open-ended responses. 1. What do you think about the weather today? 2. Why did you choose your academic major? 3. A. Have you ever been to US before? B. What other countries have you visited? C. Why did you go there? What did you like best about it?
Thank you, Aaron. Yes, as you can see, there's an interaction with two people, but this interaction is very short. The responses are very short, so that's what that's the characteristic of this type of speaking. Thank you, Aaron. Josue, can you continue, please? Just give me a second. Is Josue here? No. Can you continue, Josue, please?
Yes. Um, Giving instruction and directions. Examples: how to operate an appliance, how to put a bookshelf together, and how to create a dish. Scoring based on comprehensibility. And number 2, specified grammatical discourse categories.
Thank you, Josue. Yes, this technique of giving instructions and directions is very simple. The test administrator provides a problem or the situation, and the person who is taking the test simply responds. Okay. As you can see, the scoring is very simple. Only two aspects. Thank you, Josue. Georgina, can you continue, please? Oh, not here.
Eliciting instructions or directions. The task should require the test taker to produce at least 5 or 6 sentences. Use familiar topics and test linguistic competence. Paraphrasing examples, paraphrasing a story, and paraphrasing a phone message.
Thank you. Thank you, Georgina. Yes. Here we took two samples, which we're given instructions and directions, and also paraphrasing, which is telling a story, but in your own words. Maybe the test administrator presents a short paragraph or a short story, and the person who's taking the test is going to say the same situation, but in his or her own words. Thank you, Georgina. Now we're going through interactive speaking. Azareli, can you continue, please?
Yes. Interactive speaking. Oral interview. A test administrator and a test taker sit down in a direct face-to-face exchange and proceed through a protocol of questions and directives. It varies in length from 5 to 45 minutes, depending on purpose and context. Placement interviews may need only 5 minutes, while oral proficiency interview may require an hour.
Thank you, Cirili. Okay, Efrain, can you help us?
A framework for oral proficiency testing. 4 stages: warm up, level check, probe, and wind down. Warm up: the interviewer directs mutual introductions, help the test taker become comfortable with the situation, appreciates the format, and reduces anxieties. Level check: through pre-planned QS questions, the test takers respond using accepted forms and functions. Linguistic target criteria are scored.
Thank you, Efrain. Now, Gabby, can you continue, please?
Yes, a framework for oral proficiency testing, PROF. In this phase, test takers go to the heights of their ability and extend beyond the limits of the interviewer's expectation. Through proof questions, the interviewer discovers the test taker's proficiency. At the lower levels of proficiency, proof items may demand a higher range of vocabulary and grammar than predicted. At the higher levels, proof items will ask the TT to give an opinion, to recount a narrative, or to respond to questions.
Thank you, Gabby. The TT stands for test taker, okay? Thank you, Gabby. I forgot to tell you, it will be a great idea if you take notes, because at the end, we're going to do an activity, okay? Thank you, Gabby. And for the last part of this oral proficiency testing, Liliana, can you help us?
Yes, teacher. A framework for oral proficiency testing. Wind down. The interviewer encourages the test taker to relax with some easy questions, sets the mind at ease, and provides information about when and where to obtain the results of that interview. This part is not scored. Content specification. Sample questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Liliana. Well, so those, for me, this is very clear how they are providing us, or the author is providing us with a clear set of how to design a very good oral proficiency testing, which has to do with interactive speaking. But bear in mind that this is a part of a very interactive speaking, but there's also another kind of interactive speaking that could be more transactional, where the person interacts with another, but to get something done. For instance, when you are ordering food at a restaurant, when you are buying something, it could be very interactive because you're maybe speaking with another person, or maybe two or more persons. But in transactional speaking, the interaction takes place to get something done, to do something, okay? So keep in mind that aspect. So here we have some sample questions for oral interview, for the warm-up, for the level check, for the probe itself. that you had the opportunity to read in the book, and for the wind down. Okay. This is very important to bear into consideration the success of an oral interview. Yuvia, can you continue, please?
Yes. The success of an oral interview, clear administrative procedures, practicality, focusing the questions and probes on the purpose of the assessment, validity, bias for best performance, creating a consistent workable scoring system, okay, and descriptions of the oral proficiency scoring categories. Page.
Thank you, Yuvia. Yes, this is very important when you are going to conduct an oral proficiency exam or test, that you provide to the test taker these aspects, that the procedures have to be very clear for the test taker, and the questions and the probes have to focus only on the purpose of what you are assessing in order to be valid. So they have, and they have to be designed also to get the best performance out of the test taker, for not to put some traps or some questions that may put in doubt the test taker. The question has to be very clear and very precise to the point, okay? And also you have to design a very consistent scoring system, that any person who is evaluating this exam will have no problem in providing the correct score. And also you have to provide the descriptions of the oral proficiency scoring categories, which is the rubric. You have to provide a rubric for the test taker, so he or she knows what exactly he or she is going to be evaluated upon. Okay. Thank you, Yuvia. Now we have another type of intensive speaking. Renee, can you continue, please?
Yes, role play. It is a popular pedagogical activity in communicative language teaching classes. The test administrator must determine the assessment objectives for the role play. Then devise a scoring technique that pinpoints those objectives. Examples: pretend that your author is asking me for directions. You're buying a necklace for me in a flea market and want a lower price.
Thank you, Renee. Role play is very common in intermediate, upper intermediate, and advanced classes. You can also use it in beginner level, but it's more common in intermediate and advanced classes. And also, this is very useful when you're trying to provide a very authentic environment for the student or test taker to get some very, very authentic practice. And it will be even better if you provide authentic material. Thank you, Renee. Ailene, can you help us, please?
Perdón, perdón. Ya. I'm sorry.
Don't worry.
Que se mueve, suena el celular y se mueve la pantalla y me aparecen todos los que están ahí. Ya la moví, está a un lado. Discussions and conversations as informal techniques to assess learners' BNC of offer a level of authenticity and spontaneity that other assessment techniques may not provide. Clarifying, questioning, paraphrasing, intonation patterns, body language, eye contact, and other social linguistic factors. Games or a proficiency interview, OPI, and guidelines, and the page 177.
Thank you, Dilene. Also, this is very useful in, once again, intermediate and advanced classes. And this is very fun to do because if you design it as a game, so students can be very authentic, and also you can promote spontaneity in your students, and they'll have to use the full resources and all their knowledge to participate in the discussions or the conversation that is being taking place or the teacher designed. Thank you, Adilene. Marisa, can you continue, please?
Yes, teacher. Designing assessment. Extensive speaking. Extensive speaking tasks are frequently variations on monologues, usually with minimal verbal interaction. Oral presentations. Examples, presenting a report, a paper, a marketing plan, a sales idea, a design of a new product, or a method.
Thank you, Marisa. Yes, in this case, yeah, extensive speaking has to do with monologues. And somebody in a meeting presenting a report, a paper, maybe a marketing plan, um, maybe when you're viewing a video of a lecture, or you are asked to explain something in a very extensive way, then this is extensive speaking. Thank you, Marisa. And we have some characteristics of this aspect also. Jose Luis, can you continue, please?
Yes. Rules for effective assessment. A, specify the criterion. B, set appropriate task. C, elicit optimal output. And D, establish practical, reliable scoring procedures. Oral presentation checklist. Excellent, good, fair, poor. Content. The purpose or objective of the presentation was accomplished. The introduction was lively and got my attention. The main idea or point was clearly stated toward the beginning.
Thank you. Thank you, Jose Luis. Okay, so now, so far we've covered chapter 7, which was about assessing and speaking. Somebody that wants to participate on his or her views about this chapter, what do you find more interesting? What do you find more challenging? Do you think you can adapt this type of task into your classes? Somebody that wants to participate? Please, not everyone at the same time.
Rules for effective assessment. You want to describe what did I like about this theme, this topic. Can you repeat
Question.
the question? Yes, please.
Okay, as I was saying, with this slide, we finish chapter 7. Somebody that wants to participate on his or her views of chapter 7, what do you find interesting? about assessing and speaking. Do you think you can adapt this type of tasks or activities into your own teaching practice? What do you find more easy? What do you find more difficult? Some insight about this chapter.
What I found interesting about this chapter was that there is a lot different type of task, and we as a teacher we had the ability to to I don't know how to say it, to maybe get even more difficult or less difficult, depending the students we have. Even a task for the little kids, we can improve that task and use it in different grades. But we have to be grading, and we can put or we can take some things of the task. And I think that is very interesting.
Teacher,
Yes,
I want to participate.
yes. Who's talking? Sorry.
Gabby.
Gabby, yes, continue, Gabby.
Yes, I would like to say that I found challenging the part of interactive speaking, because sometimes in classroom the students, well, I think they found that part challenging, because they sometimes are um, unconfident to do that. I think they don't want, sometimes they don't want to participate interacting among them.
Thank you, Gabby. Yes, as Adilene was saying, this was very, very important to keep into consideration. Those activities that the author is providing us is for us to use as references. The good thing here is you can adapt those activities into the level of your students and into the level of your classes, and also adapt them to wherever content you're going through. And I believe this provides us with more techniques and strategies to enrich our own teaching practice, and not doing the same things over and over and over again, because that leads to boredom with students. If we mix things up, that we create a more motivating environment for the students. And yes, as Gabby was saying, this is very important to talk about, because we know the reality of the classrooms in public education. We know how things are, for instance, in public primary schools, in public secondary schools, where students don't have the level required to be in that grade. Talking about English, uh, the curriculum that is set for teachers for any grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, first grade of secondary school, second grade of secondary school, is very elevated, is very high for students to reach. And what that leads to students to feel uncomfortable, and they don't want to participate because sometimes they're afraid that they may be wrong. So what can we do? Well, we have to adapt those activities to their level. That's what we can do. That's an option that we can do. Adapt
Yes.
and lower the level that we can do,
Teacher,
but it's a reality. Yeah, sorry.
my homework was about imitative speaking,
Yes.
and that's what we do with toddlers and preschoolers. But when I was at secondary school, it works too, because they just parrot back when you are drilling the vocabulary.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So it is very important to adapt the context with the level of your students, as you were saying. But that specific part of the imitative It is very important. It doesn't matter of the age.
Yes, but imitative,
Because
I
they are
think,
acquiring a new language.
I think imitative it's easier for them. But when they feel that they are alone, talking talking or speaking in English, I think they feel afraid of doing something by themselves. I think.
Yes. What we can do in those cases is you can mix things up. Maybe you can provide an example of how
Yes.
you want to how you want them to answer, and that way you're helping them. I are you familiar with the Russia's method?
Yes.
Yes.
The Russia's method has many drills and
Yes.
many activities that you can use that goes from imitative, to just parrot back, to responsive and even interactive speaking. So if you go through them, that will help you a lot. I widely recommend that method, the Russia's method.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Somebody else wants to participate? Okay. Well, we're going to continue with assessing writing. What time is it? 11:05. Okay, we have very good time. Okay, let's continue. Who was the last person to read this slide? I don't remember.
Me. Oh, Jose
Jose
Luis.
Luis?
Jose Luis. Aaron, can you help us, please?
Yes. Genres of writing. Academic writing. Papers and journal reports, essays, compositions, academic focus, journals, thesis, dissertations. 2. Job-related writing. Messages, letters, emails, memos. How do you say it? Memos.
Memos, yes.
Memos, reports, labels, signs, advertisements, announcements. 3. Personal writing, greeting cards, invitation notes, tax forms, diaries, fiction, and personal journal.
Thank you, Aaron. Yes, those are the broad genres of writing. There are many more subgenres, but those are the basic ones. We can divide writing. Thank you, Aaron. Now we're going through the types of writing performance. Um, Josue, can you continue, please?
Yes. Types of writing performance. Number 1, imitative. It is a level at which learners are trying to master the mechanics of writing, from letters, word, punctuation, and brief sentences. Is the primary while context and meaning are the secondary concern. Number 2, intensive. It includes skills in producing appropriate vocabulary, collocations, idioms, and correct grammatical features. Most assessment tasks are concerned with a focus or form.
Thank you, Josue. As you can
Welcome.
see, thank you. As you can see, these two types of writing performance have to do with beginner levels. An imitative has to do with being literate, that is, learning how to read and how to write. So he's focusing on the relation between the sound and the grapheme, which is in Spanish is relación con el sonido y la grafía, ¿no? That is in Spanish. And intensive has to do also with very beginner level, where we're doing in level 1, level 2, where we're trying to get students to learn vocabulary, the verb be, for instance, and how to uh, how to mix the verb be with certain verbs, with certain pronouns, how the verb be changes with the pronoun noun, with the pronoun he, she, it, with the pronoun you, we, and they. That has to do with very beginner level of writing performance. Thank you, Jose. Look, guys, I'm going to finish this session so we can log in automatically, okay? Because we're running out of time. Okay, so I finished the session and we continue right away.